Welcome back to On The Slab Horror Show, which we bring you each and every week without fail. And it's always on a Friday night. And G-Man, you're joining me this evening. We're again without the big boss. So, how are you, my man?
Not doing too badly. Not doing too badly. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm always excited on Friday night. Why am I excited on Friday night?
Now, am I still killing off the joke after last week, or am I going proper here?
Go
No, we
proper.
go proper.
Go on.
Friday night is nostalgic horror night, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely.
That's the reason we bring it to you on a Friday night. As like it used to be Channel 4, BBC
Yes.
One, TG4, whichever one it was, used to show horror movies on a Friday night after 10 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
It was always great, wasn't it?
Intently in my case, the very first time I remember watching one was 11:15.
Ha!
And I got to watch Nightmare on Elm Street on TG4.
TG4, good old.
Terrified, absolutely terrified that it was going to be in Irish.
That would have been hilarious. Imagine
Robert
Freddie.
Englund in Irish. Yeah.
You did,
no,
Nancy.
That's a story for a different day, though.
Absolutely. But yeah, welcome back to On The Slab, where, as I said, we're here again doing our series on our picks from the decades. So we're before we go on, though, this episode, as always now, is brought to you with Fright Rags. And you check out their website, frightrags.com, for all of your lovely horror merch needs. Of course, you know, they've changed the collections every couple of, I think it's a couple of weeks, isn't it?
They bring out promos every week or so. Sometimes it's more than one a week. It's impossible for us to say, yeah, it's this promo this week and it's going to be this next week, because the lads are just rolling out all top quality gear.
Yeah, it really is top of the range stuff, and all of their. I mean, Greg, you are a huge fan of Fright Rags. The material on their stuff is second to none.
Yeah, well, like I the very first thing I ever bought from Fright Rags is a T-shirt you've seen me wearing on this show a few times. It's the Friday Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
Yeah.
Great T-shirt. I have that 9 years, I think, and it's still like the day I bought it. Like, colors haven't faded. It's black, it's red, it's green. I mean, normally you see colors fading, material ripping. Like, that's been worn well over 500,000 times. Yeah, it's. I have a Dog Soldiers ones. I have loads. I've been buying from Fright Rags for, as it says, 9-10 years.
Yeah.
I found them by a mistake. That's how I found them.
Well, here's the great thing now. Hopefully, through us, people will find them, because, of course, if you find them through us, you can put in a cool little promo code, which is OTS Horror 10 when you're doing your checkout, and you'll get a little 10% discount from us and from the boys on Fright Rags. So yeah, check out frightrags.com.
I mean, the team are over there are deadly to deal with. Ben is the top drawer. We've seen him on here a few times as well. And as for the designs, they're second.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So shout out to Ian again. Not with us this week, but that's fine. He'll be back next week, and
hopefully we get him back next week. Anyway.
We will. He's coming back. So it's my turn. Last week you did a great job with the very juicy 1930s, I must say. Some great shouts there, man. So you know, the 1940s was, to me, a decade. Yeah, it was a bit harder because there's good films, of course, but the 40s for me was not necessarily a horror heavy decade. It was more kind of thrillers and suspense and all that kind of stuff, and you can kind of see it in the type of horrors that were made at that time. Stuff was kind of getting a little bit lighter, you know, and I don't mean light as in the brightness. I mean the matter was getting just a little bit lighter than what had gone before. Like we said, in the earlier decades, it was all stuff to do with folklore and, you know, that kind of stuff. Now they're moving on, you know, and it's a different time. It's a different, but it's still, I have to say, it's still a decade of discovery and a decade of invention, like the other decades before it. you know.
Yeah, like even now they're still trying to develop makeup. They're still trying to develop looks. They're trying to develop camera angles.
Yeah.
Trying to develop lenses. Trying to develop lighting. Like obviously you see in the picture there behind you, trying to use like dry ice to make mist and things like that. Like everything kind of steps up a little bit more in this era.
Yeah.
And obviously becomes more widely used, which changes the horror game as well. Like take that picture for instance behind you, right? Take out that smoke and mist, right? The picture just looks like a couple of trees. I mean,
on a school stage play.
Yeah, but it's simple things.
Yeah,
like dry ice to use as mist.
And that's the thing, Greg. They've discovered all that kind of stuff, and they're not relying on shadows anymore.
I still think shadows are the most effective.
Absolutely, myself. And that's in everything. That's in everything, you know. But yeah. So we'll start off my list. Now I did it a little bit different to you. These are films I have either seen when I was, younger, or it's just a quick 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 list, and we'd start with number 5. Let me just look at my little list here. It's The Body Snatcher, which is from 1945, and yeah, that had Boris Karloff, Bela Lugosi. There you go, the gruesome twosome. Edith Atwater, and the director was Val Newton. Val would have done a few good films like this, and of course it's about a doctor and a student who are harassed by the supplier of the cadavers that they're using for their experiments, and it's a great dynamic between Karloff and Lugosi.
They hit off on so many absolute bangers.
Yeah.
This one here obviously is, I wouldn't say it's up there as their best.
No.
But it's a really fucking enjoyable movie.
Yeah.
And it's like you hear a lot in this one is the Birkin hair.
Yes.
They were the lads who were body snatching out of graveyards and selling them on.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a folklore, or well, I don't know whether it's a folklore. It's actually a true story of people two lads in Scotland doing it. Now I know they went on to make a comedy movie out of it, but like there's been more than one occasion where these two names pop up in horror movies for doing that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, like the two lads are just phenomenal though.
Yeah.
I suppose when you have a winning combination,
you're not going to change it.
No. Pacino, De Niro, Cushing, Lee. Do you know what I mean?
What do we have now? The Rock and Kevin Hart. Way.
John Carpenter and Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Kurt Russell and Keith David.
Yeah.
No, there's a few, and when you go to the well so many times with the same person, you gain that rapport with them.
Yeah.
And work better.
Absolutely.
Simple as that.
So that's number 5. Great way to start off. Number 4, I had to throw this in for our glorious leader, the Dynamo. Of course, former leader on the DPN, of course, But
the Kingpin has fallen.
Yeah, I know. Of course, The Spiral Staircase from 1946. A very cool, very dark, very atmospheric film.
This is an all sorts of fucked up movie.
Yes. Dorothy McGuire, George Brent, Ethel Barrymore, and the director was Robert Siodmak. Yeah, that's him.
And I will go before I even attempt to try and say that name. Ian has brought it up on this show before. That the eyes you see in this, when they're walking up the staircase and you see the eyes in the wall, is actually the director, Robert, whatever his name is.
Siodmak.
Zelnik, whatever.
Siodmak.
That's his eyes.
Cool. Deadly. Nice little touch
that Ian has given us over the years.
And I mean, if Ian was here with us this evening, he would give us a detailed little bit of a spiel on the film. But I think he'll probably want to do a full episode on that.
No, to be fair to him, back when he had Dynamo's podcast network, when I made my first podcast was actually on the Dynamo Podcast Network. We done a horror show on top 10 movies, and that was in his. That was back. Jeez, that must have been back 4 years ago.
Easily, yeah. He loves that film. He absolutely loves that film,
and rightly so. It's a very good movie.
Yeah, it's really good. It's got probably one of the, like, when I say darker in tone and atmosphere, you know, of the decade, you know. So go check out The Spoiled Staircase. It's a really good film. Check that out.
Yeah. There's no point in delving deeper into that because I just said Ian will one on it.
And that's why, yeah.
Yeah.
But
I know, having listened to this now, come Friday night when he listens to it, he'll be like, "Yeah, that's the next episode." I'm not confirming that to anybody.
No, but we're up for that if you want, Ian. Number 3 on my little list is Cat People from 1942.
Creepy ass movie.
Yeah, but very good, very good. Simone Simon, Jack Holt, Ken Smith, and Jane Randolph. And I think this was one of Jane Randolph's last horror films that she made. So that alone is important. You know, she was one of the powerhouses back in those days. Jacques Tournier was the director. And
she was French.
Of course, they always make fucked up shit, you know. But there's a girl who's after getting married, and there's an ancient curse that has been put on her, and of course she's a cat person essentially. I'm not giving that away. The name is in the title, you know. But there's a great scene in this film where your woman's she's swimming on her own. It's like in the nighttime in a swimming pool.
As you do.
Yeah, and all you can hear is the other cat or whatever it is. We just call it a cat. It's almost like it's stalking her, you know, but she can't get out. She's stuck in the swimming pool, and she can't get out of it. So,
did you notice like the way they use the shadows in this is very similar to what they do in Batman Returns?
Yes.
Batman Returns with Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah.
Where she plays Catwoman, and they use the cats up the alleyway and things, and all you see are the shadows.
I think that's where I think it was a nod to this. Yeah. But very enjoyable and great looking for its time. Again, like I said, we're getting into now films that are, you know, up in the bar in terms of presentation. And
everything's starting to get better. Every movie by the time is getting better and better. Unfortunately, now with horror, every movie is getting worse and worse and worse.
God, it's unbelievable.
Cheapest movies to make. Go to the cheapest supplier to make it.
Yeah, and I wouldn't mind. I mean, if they did things properly, which some people have done. Don't get me wrong. Not every single horror movie is shit, but when they do it right, they do it right. But like most movie executives or big wigs don't give a shit about horror anymore. Yeah, exactly. Scooby-Doo.
How can I make this movie for the lowest amount and gain the best back?
Yeah, Scooby-Doo meets Tom Hiddleston or something. That's what you get nowadays.
Can't wait.
So that was number 3. Number 3. That was Cat People. Another, like, as I say, I basically want people just to hear the names of these films and check them out more than nothing else, you know. Number 2 was I Walked with a Vampire from 1943. Now, this is a great film. James Ellison, Francis D, Tom Conway, and of course Jacques Tournier again.
I Walked with a Zombie.
Yeah, what did I say?
A vampire.
Oh, my apologies. I Walked with a Zombie. Yeah. My apologies, folks.
See, he's just testing me there. Just testing me.
Well, anyway, this is all to do with voodoo, and you know, and the makeup in this one is great. It's really great for its time.
And anything, I'll buy into anything that's based around the likes of the New Orleans legends and voodoo and things like that. I'll watch anything like that.
Well, this one's great.
There's something eerie and creepy about it.
Yeah. This one is about a nurse who is looking after this particular patient it's in the Caribbean, you know. And
the Caribbean.
Yeah, the Caribbean. But she fancies a woman's husband, but she tries to help her with voodoo. and as you can imagine, it all goes awry from there. You know,
that's bad juju.
Bad juju is exactly what happens. You know, another class. Like I have to say, the films I'm picking out here they're actually good films. Yeah, they really are, and like that's my way of doing things. I don't like to give away too much because I just want people to just say, well, I might look at it or I might not. If any of these are on YouTube, and a lot of them would be nowadays as full films, you're coming up to near the end of the kind of free YouTube films, you know, with these 40s, maybe the 50s, I don't know, but definitely
you won't get many more after that.
No, but any of the ones we've mentioned tonight or even last week, try and check them out on YouTube if you've never seen them. And as Greg was saying to our younger viewers, if we have any, you know, give these old films a chance because these are what laid the ground rules for what you watch now. And you know, you'll see so many kind of tropes from the films you like now to what went before, and these made these tropes possible for you, you know.
Like with you having Kerry there, who's a bit older, it's great for you to be able to go back and watch these with her.
Yeah.
Like my oldest one has no interest. Finn, I think, will watch things when he gets a bit older, but at 5, I can't really be sitting down watching.
No.
No, to be fair, there's some of these movies like I could sit down and watch. I could probably sit down and watch Frankenstein.
Yeah.
I mean, the older ones aren't too bad, but
well, like, do you know something? I'll give you one to watch with Finn, and this is my one honourable mention. And segues to beat the band here tonight. It's great.
Isn't it?
It's brilliant. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Do you know what I love about that? The set design. It looks so gothic in a. It doesn't like, you know. It looks straight out of a real official horror movie, not an Abbott and Costello thing. You know, an actual.
Yeah, well, I'd say it definitely was off the set of a movie somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Like I was actually gonna sit down. I found something online where I could get. Do you remember? Like, I know you're a little bit older than me, but do you remember Kenan and Kel?
Yeah.
They had a horror movie.
Oh, God.
That it was just Kenan and Kel horror movie, but it's in a haunted house. It's basically got all like the Universal monsters in it.
All right, cool.
I was gonna sit down and watch that with him.
Yeah, that'd be a good way to start off. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think at 5 he's still a bit too young.
Yeah, I don't think Kerry started watching stuff like that since she was 10 or 11, maybe.
I think the best I can get is Hotel Transylvania,
which is still good.
Yeah, I did mention that last week as well. There's a couple of good versions in there. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I just slipped the honourable mention in there. Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein. Great film. Bit of fun.
Most Abbott and Costello things were golden anyway.
Do you know what? Those old comedy duos were brilliant.
Laurel and Hardy and that, yeah.
I mean, still even today, like, they make you laugh. I was watching clips of Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman, and it's just great crack.
That's the one I can remember better than anything.
Yeah.
And he's walking backwards and walks into him.
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant. Or when he sits on the chair and Frankenstein just gets a go from him, and he's like, the faces your man makes are great. And the sounds. Yeah. So yeah, then we're gonna just finish off with one that we thought might have to go into last week's episode, but we've since found out that it's actually in this week's episode, and that's the Wolfman from 1941.
Yeah, this is goat level.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Look at him. Look at the man. Now,
the man Lou.
I know I like werewolf films. Everyone knows that. And we wouldn't have been able to get to where we were last week with our 2 weeks ago with our debate without this, you know.
Yeah, this is as it says last week, and Carmen alluded to there. This is what paved the way for what we know now.
Yes.
And like, I'd love to see the original of this being made now, not a remake, but like making that original now. With what they know they can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, in fairness, The one that Benicio del Toro did was alright.
I wasn't the Wolfman itself, the 2010 one.
Yeah,
it was.
I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed the transformation as like that's the beast that you wanted him to be. The story, Anthony Hopkins was very good, but I couldn't buy into it. I watched it and I won't turn it off.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable watch.
Yeah,
but it's not got anything compared to this.
No, well, I don't think anything in the Wolfman has really.
No. Let's quickly go through the Lon Chaney Jr., who was the son of Lon Chaney Sr., who was a Phantom of the Opera, of course. The man of 1,000 faces.
Mask.
Yeah. Bela Lugosi was in it.
Level.
Claude Rains and George Wagner was the director. So you have a star-studded lineup there, and
you've gone Bela Lugosi, who's been in Dracula and every other countless 1930s, 1940s horror with Universal. Lon Chaney obviously made himself a superstar here, and Claude Rains, who was obviously the Invisible Man and catapulted himself into superstardom with Universal as well.
Yeah.
So what more could you want? Actually, you could have had Boris Karloff in there as well, but
yeah. I love
can't have them all.
The transformations, and the way it's just him, and it's just like, it's the camera,
different face,
yeah, and the way we associate werewolf transformations with agonizing pain. Not in this though. He's just like,
even it just happens for him in this, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and it doesn't look too bad.
He looks like Brendan Grace, actually, doesn't he? For anyone who doesn't know, Brendan Grace is an old Irish comedian who's sadly no longer with us and was very, very good.
To me, the way they've done this, there's not many films that have done this in terms of werewolves.
Oh.
And the only other one I can really think of is Teen Wolf, where it left him a human.
Yeah.
Which wasn't bad. It was a 1980s cheesy comedy.
That was great. Yeah.
But that's the only other one I can think of. But I liked this version because it's not. Obviously, we had that debate 2 weeks ago, where it's supposed to be raw power and aggression and hate as a werewolf. This one is kind of different. He's still a human, but
you almost feel sorry for him, don't you?
Yeah. This is one of the first ones of those bad guy movies where you feel sorry for the bad guy.
Yeah. I think
Frankenstein obviously is because it's not his fault. But yeah, you feel kind of sorry and bad for him. You're like, oh, well, you got the short end of this straw, bro.
Yeah, I think you need to do it. We just need to tie him up in the yard and leave him alone for a bit,
Do what they did in Buffy and just chain him up in the cage down in the basement.
There you go. But there we go. It's just a quick, concise top five of my choosings, and as I said, you're moving into a different level of horrors now, a different style. That old kind of draconian look is gone, and now we're getting into higher production values, higher
designs,
higher budgets, and all this kind of stuff. And so the next couple of decades are going to be very interesting. And
it's certainly maybe not the 60s. 60s are good, but from 70s onwards, we're definitely going to have to move from a 5 to a 10 or more.
I think that's what we're going to do. And anyone who is listening or watching, if you want us to do top 10s from the 60s onwards, let us know, because we'd be only too happy to do that.
I'd be happy to sit here and talk top 100 if you want.
Yeah.
But,
you go ahead and do a 4-hour podcast. You do that if you want.
Well, I know you're old and all. The nurse now might put you to bed, but I can keep going.
But the thing about it is quality, not quantity with me.
Yeah, well, you don't get either from you though. So.
Ooh, man, you're They're fighting words every week with you now. It's fighting words. I'm loving it.
We're starting to build up to the next challenge.
Oh, stop. And yeah, Texas Chainsaw, which was better, 1974 or 2003. Everyone knows what that one is.
03, just saying.
Yeah, right. Well, look, let's leave it at that for now. Let's leave it there for people to, see who they're going to side with on this one. I think
it's going to be a resounding answer again, but that doesn't mean it's the correct one.
Well, yeah. I think we'll leave it at that for now and see what people have to say. But for now, the build-up begins exactly. But for now, I just want to say, G-Man, thanks again. Great to be on the show with you as always. And Ian will be back with us. Thank you, man. Thank you. Ian will be back with us next week. And check out Facebook, check out YouTube, check out Spotify. All the episodes go up on Spotify as well, which is great if you just want to have a listen and you don't want to look at our beautiful faces. That's fine. That's okay.
No, it's not.
It's your loss, but that's okay. But for now, we're gonna leave you, and don't forget to, as I said, OTS Horror 10. Put it in at the Fright Rags website. You'll get an elk discount. Tell them that the lads.
It'll be pretty much covering your shipping even.
Yeah, exactly.
The more you buy in bulk, the better discount you get.
Yeah.
It's still 10%, but it obviously works out better because
the more you buy, the more you save. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, now if my wife sees my bank balance after that, it's.
I'm gonna try and hide my one from Marlene. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'll have to do it.
We already know Rachel found Ian's, and Ian has 2 broken legs. Is the way he's not here.
And that's why he's on recovery.
I don't condone domestic violence. Just saying.
we jest, of course, on the slab. But for now,
that's all banter.
Exactly. But for now, we will leave you on the slab, and we will get out of here. Woo!